and so forth. You see kids on fields and play, part-time daddies are coaching, have no earthly idea what's going on. You could be the team mom, you're still going to get named in that lawsuit. And ladies and gentlemen, that could critically hamper somebody financially for the rest of their lives. Under our program, how many remember just years ago when the little lady spilled a cup of coffee on herself? Way back, remember that? Yeah. She got $4 million, am I right? $4 million. Spilling a cup of coffee on herself. Now think about this. Had you known you could have got $4 million? How many would have just took that coffee? And just throwed it right on you? Am I right? Maybe the guy beside you needed to move it. Just throw it on you too, right? Doesn't he make the top 10 today, right? Under our LegalShield program, the first year is 75 hours. 17 and a half hours pre-trial, 57 and a half hours in a courtroom. Somebody else in this country does not have it, you have it. It's about a $20,000 value. Third and last test of the morning. How many here this morning would invest $26 if you knew you had $20,000 sitting over here on the left-hand side of your life? All right? But you know what? It gets better. The second year you maintain the membership, we take the hours to 140. Third year, we take it up to 200. Fourth year to 270. And then the fifth year and every year after that, 335 hours. But a very important footnote for all of our guests in this room. And make a footnote of this, all right? In the 40-year history of our company, we've never raised our rates for our existing clients. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be paying 10 years from now, $26 a month. Legal fees will have doubled by then. Did you make a good business decision? How many here tonight, or this morning, how many here this morning would have liked a lot of gasoline prices in 1970? How about just a week ago? 44 cents a gallon in 1970. You know, today we're closing in on $5 a gallon. Some places in the country it's over $5 already. If you had a 44-cent card that you could slide into a $5 pump and it rolled back, you'd have made a great business decision, right? We didn't get a chance to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, with our program, when you consider that gas pump is $300 an hour, and everybody else out there in America today is paying that $300 an hour, and you've got a $26 card that slides in and rolls that back, there's no greater value anywhere in the country than what we do. We have the only product in America that is marked down, not marked up. And make a note of that, and I'll come back to that a little bit later. IRS, hey, by the way, let me tell you something about traffic violations just for a second. The reason traffic court is becoming more and more serious is because municipalities are broke. And if you start looking at the number of now traffic tickets being issued in your own county, just go to the internet and download it, is probably almost double. Why? It's the only way they're going to survive. So you're going to see more policemen on the highways than we've ever seen before, especially Saturday night, you know, right here in the great state of Minnesota. So the issues are very challenging. Now, what else are we broke on? Well, we're broken government-wide. And IRS audits are going to be up. And how many agree, if you get named in an audit, you're probably not qualified to be on that playing field? Ladies and gentlemen, I learned one thing in coaching. You can equal up that playing field and get off of it. In this case, if you're named in a full audit, we give you representation. And I guarantee you, tax attorneys are $400 to $500 an hour. But along with that, if you don't even like the outcome of that, we can give you another 50 hours of challenge that if you're named in a full audit. All part of that $26 membership we started with a few minutes ago. And then along with that, we even have pre-existing and drug and alcohol related issues that we cover under a discounted factor. Even if you're sitting with a pre-existing problem right now, you can pick up that phone Monday morning, talk to that lawyer, no charge, but it does require to hire that attorney under those situations. Will probably be at a 25% discount on what those rack rates are of that law firm, all right? But after hours, we even have access to attorneys tonight, 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. How many ever heard the word profiling? How many believe you ever been profiled? Every time I'm stopped by an officer, the first thing I say to him, "You're profiling me." When I officer come pulled me over in South Carolina, first thing I said, I said, "You're profiling me." He says, "I'm doing what?" I said, "You're profiling me." And he said, "Why would you say that, Ethan?" I said, "Well, that car in front was going a lot faster than me on the corner." Think about it for a minute. Are you all ready? Everybody say Miranda rights. When did you ever hear that word? We got court TV. You never recited that poem in high school unless it was read directly to you, right? All right? Ladies and gentlemen, profiling. Teenage kid in a red car after midnight tonight here in Minnesota. Law officer's got a tough job. But if your son or daughter's pulled over at 1 o'clock in the morning, that law officer's going to ask for proof of insurance, driver's license, registration. Well, along with that, your son or daughter's going to hand that law officer a little card called LegalShield. It's going to inform that law officer at 1 o'clock in the morning the individual in this vehicle is a LegalShield member, and they know what their Miranda rights are and have access to attorneys if they're questioned, detained, arrested. Ladies and gentlemen, how many believe it's going to be nice to know that you have an attorney available at 1 o'clock in the morning to help deal possibly with that issue, circumstances? And again, you know what? We added that profit for $1 extra a month. Now, you can't buy a pack of gum in this hotel for $1. You And ladies and gentlemen, we have AV-rated attorneys standing by in the state of Minnesota to help deal with that issue. There's never been a product anywhere in the world today that does what we do today. What we have, the fifth reason you choose an industry is being ahead of a trend. And ladies and gentlemen, we're on the top wave of where this industry is about to go, and that's why I'm excited even to get up at 3 o'clock this morning, come up here and share this business model with you today, because we are ahead of a trend. We haven't even began the journey yet, even though we're 40 years of age. Now, in closing out here, we won't be here too much longer, right? I'm going to talk about another service that we added along with this that came to us that's also ahead of a trend. We had a company approach us a number of years ago by the name of Kroll Background America. Now, anybody in this audience today, if you have any high government clearances, more than likely Kroll has something to do with that clearance background. Swore in the military, more than likely Kroll has something to do with that background check. The Kroll company is the same age LegalShield, 40 years of age. Founded and formulated by a gentleman by the name of Jules Kroll, whose background was in the CIA. The Kroll company is the leader in the world in risk management, parentheses for this meeting this morning, identity theft. They're the company that has the largest database in the world and the largest group of fraud investigators in the world, and needless to say, they're used by the world. 40 years of experience handling governments around the world. Example, Kuwait government. During that crisis, Saddam Hussein's assets, nobody knew where they could find them. Well, they went to the biggest dog in the park of identity theft, and that's who we are. All right? And they were able to locate where Saddam Hussein's assets were hidden all over the world. During the Enron trial, very tangled web of issues and challenges, they brought Kroll in under those circumstances. Twin Tower tragedy, unfortunately, Kroll was brought in for that also. Space shuttle comes back in from outer space, security blankets provided by Kroll. How many believe they can handle you and I? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we see a lot of identity theft on TV. No disrespect to that crap. But I'm going to tell you right now, right? If you're going to go to the park of identity theft, you're going to become a victim. You don't want to take a chihuahua. They'll bark a lot, they ain't going to hurt you. You want the pit bull of the industry. Would y'all agree? Yeah. Now, why did Kroll come see us? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this tsunami of identity theft, they realize there's no wall can ever be built high enough to stop it. Don't think you're not a victim. Almost all of you, everybody in this room is probably a victim right now. You just haven't found out. Download the FTC report, you're staggering. Right now, kids that are born to the age of 10 in this country are really becoming victims right now because they get Social Security numbers right off the bat. They say, well, I protect all that. Oh, come on. I got a cab driver in New York that give me your Social Security number in 20 minutes. All right? Just giving you an address. The ability to do things today is just scary. Would you agree? Two friends of mine are border guards in Tucson, Arizona. No disrespect to anybody trying to get to our country. You know, if I lived under those poverty-stricken issues, I'd probably want to fight to try to find somewhere else to live also. But when they catch him, they already got medical identification with them, Social Security numbers already with them. The issue's been over for a long time. Kroll realized this growing problem of identity theft was this tsunami. But they realized, like a puzzle, there was a piece missing. Many of you put together puzzles in your life. A piece was missing. You're mad about it. What was that piece? That piece was access to the legal system. And ladies and gentlemen, they realized that was the closing factor because most times, all the time, when you're a victim of identity theft, it's a crime. And in most cases, you're going to need access to the legal system. I've called some of these programs on TV just for fun and just asked them, I said, well, look, I might have to get a lawyer. Do you guys provide all that? No, we don't do that. You have to go get one on your own. Well, $200 to $300 an hour, most of the world's locked down, aren't they? So Kroll came to see us. This is what time we were a New York Stock Exchange company. I was serving on the board of directors. And needless to say, we loved what they had. They loved us. We created a marriage with them. Yet the products can be marketed separately if you so desire. First of all, we have the best price identity theft product in the world today. For $9.95, we cover both husband and wife. And for an extra $1 for the kids up to the age of 18 in that household. Not $1 each, $1. 4 of them up to the age of 18 years of age. All right? Most of this other stuff, no disrespect to this crap that's on TV, all right? But most of that's $11 to $12 individually. All right? Now, you marry that in with your legal coverage, you got a powerful factor. What is identity theft today? It's not just your credit card side. That's a small portion of it. Medical identity theft. Those of you in the insurance industry, you know the epidemic's going on. Some of you go in the hospital today. Profiling you is entirely different because somebody's been compromised your identity 6 months ago in California, been burning up your benefits. And again, the screen on you is entirely different. All right. IRS incomes are being reported in your name. Read the articles. Download it. See what's going on with that. Today, felonies are being committed in your name. You know, this young man here, this gentleman right here, he gets pulled over tonight, side of the road. Looks like a pretty clean-cut guy, never had too many problems. Make a long story short, the officer comes back after 5 minutes in his car and asks him to vacate the vehicle. How many believe that's a clue? Unless he's carrying a small sweeper, he ain't there to vacuum the car. Would you all agree, all right? He logged in, there's a felony arrest warrant out for him. Now, he's never committed a crime in his life, but somebody else did. he gets to go to jail tonight. How many believe it's a good time to have that LegalShield coverage? Ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to be talking to mama. You need to be talking to a lawyer, all right? The power of what we got today. Mortgages are being taken out of your name. And here's the big issue. It's not if you're going to be a victim, everybody just say, win. Win. When that happens, you don't want a director kid coming in the mail, and you don't want some 16-year-old kid in some part of the world trying to explain this to you. You want the biggest dog in the park under these circumstances. And what will happen? You will sign a limited power of attorney. Now, what does that limited power of attorney do? It activates Kroll Fraud Investigator. People that handle the world. I sign that limited power of attorney. He's the fraud investigator. I now give him access to everything that he needs to have for 180 days to restore my identity to my full satisfaction. I'm comfortably at work or my office or at the beach, and we've got the biggest dog in the park working on our behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have the second product that's ahead of a trend. And that's today why our partnership with MidOcean and again, the branding of our company today, why they believe that we're exactly where medical and automobile were 70 years ago. Nobody in this country, nobody in this room will be able to survive without legal coverage and identity theft protection as we go on. It's just the world we live in today. So you couldn't be in a better place at a better moment in time in history because we're the founding fathers of where this industry is about to go. We really don't even have any competition out here today. That's a key factor. Now, closing out our meeting here this morning, let me just talk to you about the business model. I was in business prior to LegalShield. I was introduced to this by a good friend. I actually bought the product back in 1985, and I used it for about 9 years. In 1993, a friend of mine asked me to go to lunch. That cost him about $2.89 to save me this lunch. And make a long story short, he shared this model with me, but he also mentioned the fact that Roger Staubach became a shareholder in LegalShield. And being a big football fan, and from an Ohio boy originally, of course, everybody knew Roger Staubach, and all of you in this room know who he is. Some of you, may not, but great American, great businessman. Besides being a Hall of Famer and a great quarterback, on one of the largest commercial real estate companies in the world today. Doesn't own it now, but he did. I asked to meet with Roger, and I flew to Dallas, Texas, spent 2 hours with him, and make a long story short, he convinced me a little 3 hours north of Ada, Oklahoma, was going to be one of the great enterprises in the world, and it convinced me to go up and take my time and visit. I made that decision. It was the best decision I ever made in my life. Why? Being in business for yourself today is a very key factor. Would you all agree? How many have heard this terminology recently? You need to have a plan B in life. Anybody ever hear that?
Oh, yeah.
That's a bunch of crap. Somebody said, well, people are writing books about plan B. I don't care what they're writing. Well, you don't need a plan B. Many of you have had too many Bs. You need an A. A plan A. Recently, a young man was pulling a boat up to Lake Lanier on the highway beside me. I just passed, it wasn't a big boat. But the name of the boat, believe it or not, was called Plan B. I started laughing. He pulled up the light. I beat my horn. I said, roll down your window. He rolled down his window, and I said, hey, I see your boat. Its name is Plan B. He said, yeah, that's right, Plan B. I said, well, son, if you had a Plan A, that'd be a lot bigger boat. He said, what's Plan A? I said, pull over. Plan A is where you control the factor in the steering wheel today. The average college kid today will change job 15 times in his lifetime. The security blankets are not there today. 401ks, all the stuff you want to argue about. The fact of the matter is they're just temporary savings programs for the next job. Ladies and gentlemen, going into business for ourselves is a critical factor. Today, my flight here, back, forth, most everything I do in my life is pretty much a tax deduction for me, all right? My home on Lake Lanier, my home at Pawleys Island, da-da-da-da-da, all right? Being in business at a home-based business gives me something I never had before. Don't have to worry about location anymore. Don't have to worry about employees anymore. Don't have to worry about all the overhead and factors that go along with most business models today. My wife and I can argue all day long who's president final, won't make a bit of difference, all right? We don't even get to handle the product. None of you here today even have to maintain and monitor the product because both LegalShield and both Kroll does both those on your behalf. And you're only going to sign a person up how many times in your lifetime? Once. Ladies and gentlemen, our highest investment to get involved in our business today is $149. That's getting close to where your SUV is filling up. Okay, all right? $149 one-time investment. Never do it again. With that, the information materials to start your business with. With that, we even set your website up free of charge for the first 3 months, which means like I did on the plane, I can direct somebody to my website, and they can go in there and buy the membership today. And with that now, we pay you advanced commissions for marketing these services. And we pay you every day. Direct deposit, your checking account, and savings account daily. I got a call the other day from one of my executive directors out in Oregon. He walked into a small company. They enrolled 140 members. 140 members. All right? He made about $15,000 for that day. Do I have your attention? Okay, all right? Because on a small basis, it could be just, some of you today might be interested in some part-time